If you felt that strange mix of frustration and anxiety every time you swipe your card at the grocery store or fill up your gas tank, you're not imagining things. Prices are climbing, paychecks aren't stretching as far as they used to, and for many working class families, the financial pressure feels heavier than ever. Today, we're going to talk about where this trend may be heading and what everyday people could struggle to afford in the next 5 years if things don't change. Before we dive in, take a second to hit the like button if this topic matters to you, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos that break down real-world money issues in a simple, honest way. Let's start with something that used to be a small, simple joy: going to the movies. For a long time, catching a new release on the big screen was an affordable escape. You could grab a ticket, maybe some popcorn, and enjoy a couple of hours away from daily stress. Now, that casual outing is quietly turning into a luxury. According to Cinemark, the average movie ticket price in the United States is already hovering around $16 in 2025, and in major cities, it can climb past $23 for a single seat. That's before snacks, parking, or transportation even enter the picture. For a family of four, a night at the movies can easily cost as much as a weekly grocery run. When entertainment becomes that expensive, people start making hard choices. More families may decide to stay home, rely on streaming services, or skip these experiences altogether. What was once a shared cultural activity could become something only a smaller group can afford regularly. Now let's talk about a much bigger issue: home ownership. For generations, owning a home was seen as a milestone of stability and success. It meant security, roots in a community, and something you could pass on to your children. Today, that dream feels increasingly distant. A report by National Housing Conference revealed that in many metro areas, even people with solid, high-paying jobs are being priced out of the housing market. Think about that for a moment. If professionals earning close to six figures are struggling to buy a typical home, what does that mean for working-class families earning far less? Rising interest rates, limited housing supply, and investor-driven price increases are creating a perfect storm. Over the next 5 years, more people may be locked into renting, not by choice, but by necessity. And as rent prices rise alongside home prices, the squeeze only tightens. Transportation is another area where affordability is becoming a serious concern. For many working-class families, a reliable car isn't a luxury. It's a requirement for getting to work, taking kids to school, and running basic errands. But vehicle ownership is getting more expensive from every angle. Repairs cost more, insurance premiums are rising, used car prices, which used to be a safer option for budget-conscious buyers, remain stubbornly high. Mario Serralta, founder of Mario Serralta and Associates, has seen firsthand how these rising costs affect families dealing with accidents and insurance claims. When a car breaks down or gets damaged, the ripple effect can be massive. Rental cars during repairs, unexpected deductibles, and lost work hours can push already tight budgets to the breaking point. If these trends continue, simply maintaining dependable transportation could become a financial burden too heavy for many households. Healthcare is another area where the pressure is building. Even people with insurance are feeling the strain. Copays, deductibles, diagnostic tests, and follow-up treatments all add up quickly. Serralta has also pointed out that many working individuals struggle to cover these out-of-pocket expenses, even with steady employment. The problem isn't that people don't want medical care. It's that the cost of care is growing faster than wages. Over the next few years, this gap could widen even more. Families might delay doctor visits, skip necessary treatments, or avoid preventive care altogether, not because they don't value their health, but because they simply can't afford the bills. And when small health issues go untreated, they often become bigger and more expensive problems later. Education, especially private education, is another area facing serious affordability challenges. As public school systems face funding and performance concerns in some regions, demand for private schooling has increased. But with that demand comes higher tuition. Martin Lucan from EdChoice has noted that private schools can't instantly expand their capacity. They can't just build classrooms overnight or hire dozens of new teachers at once. When supply stays limited and demand rises, prices go up. For working-class families who see private education as a pathway to better opportunities for their children, this creates a painful dilemma. Do you stretch your budget beyond its limits, or do you settle for fewer options? Over time, this could widen the gap between families who can afford educational advantages and those who cannot. When you step back and look at all these areas together, a clear pattern emerges. Entertainment, housing, transportation, healthcare, and education are all becoming more expensive at the same time. Wages, on the other hand, often move slowly. This mismatch creates constant financial tension. People are forced to prioritize essentials and cut back on experiences that once brought joy or personal growth. It also increases stress, anxiety, and burnout, because financial insecurity doesn't just affect bank accounts. It affects mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. So what can working-class families do in the face of these challenges? While no single strategy can solve systemic problems, small steps can make a difference. Budgeting with intention, building even a modest emergency fund, and seeking out community resources can help create some breathing room. Staying informed about financial assistance programs, housing grants, or healthcare subsidies can also provide support. On a broader level, staying engaged in conversations about policy and economic change matters too. The more people speak up about affordability issues, the harder it becomes for decision makers to ignore them. At the end of the day, times are tough, and for many households, the road ahead looks uncertain. But history shows that economic cycles change. What feels overwhelming today doesn't have to define the future forever. By staying adaptable, supporting one another, and pushing for fairer systems, working-class communities can continue to move forward, even when the odds seem stacked against them. If this video resonated with you, let us know in the comments what rising costs have impacted you the most. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more honest conversations about money, everyday life, and the challenges we all face. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.